Hello there. Today we are going to be working on the blacksmith for the woods camp. Now this is going to be a actual smithing blacksmith where you work iron bars into wrought iron, which is just a alternate name for worked iron. And I'll show you how to produce a cast iron blacksmith or a casting smith with the other blacksmith that I'll be doing later. But for this one, we're quite simply going to be working the metal into the correct shape, which is simpler and requires a little bit less heat. It's going to be small to be able to fit in along with the bower's workshop over there, and we're going to be using andesite for the floors and a few ridge beams in order to give a bit of different color, because you wouldn't want like bricks that could be loosened by the heat to be the only thing holding up the structure. Now back here we're going to be using a solid stone floor basin, and we're going to be using this as our heating area for actually heating up the metal. We're going to have the corners as brick, probably the walls, because we'll want a chimney to get rid of the smoke. And yeah, just full brick walls in this case. And we're going to have to put in a blower or some kind of way to add extra air into this to heat up black coal in order to get it to the right temperature to work metal, which is about white hot. For casting iron, you need a little bit hotter temperature. So I'll show you how to do that as well later. But for now, we just have to get it malleable. Now, white hot and red hot, the spot in between, is where we're trying to get with this. So we are going to be using black coal at the back, and then lighting it in the middle where we're going to force the air through, and then wooden logs and leftover coal that comes from the back already heated over the wood in order to have a more stable refuelable area up front where you're actually working the metal in the ashes. And for up here, we're going to use some inversed stairs to be able to produce a chimney up here, just to pull the smoke away. Because a normal campfire still can't pull the smoke up this high, and I want a proper smokestack. Okay, so in front, we're going to have wood and coal mixed with a kind of ashes look, where you would be putting logs along with dragging hot coals from the middle in order to heat up the area. And then we're going to put slabs there as a safety measure. Next, we're going to put, you see, this would not work. We would need black coal and lit coal. We're going to be using magma blocks as our lit coal, or ignited coals, just as it matches the rest. And you'd pile the black coal from the top back there after this is cooled. And I'm gonna put a set of stairs up here as well in order to make sure that you can't accidentally step into what would be a lit oven that's hot enough to heat up iron to working temperature. We're going to have some iron bars there. These iron bars would often get hot enough to sear your arm if you touch them, but it stops you from reaching further and causing worse accidents. Now over here, we're going to be building a primitive bellows out of a wooden barrel sealed with leather on the inside, and we're going to have it aimed at the middle so that as the coal from the back gets used up in the front, more coal from the back falls forward to the middle. So we'll have the bellows itself right on the back block, and for it we're going to use a barrel because, well, it's a barrel coated with the inside as leather. I'll aim it down that way. And we're going to be using an oak trapdoor because they don't have spruce as our foot pedal that actually pushes the air into there and compresses the middle to force it out. I'm going to use a waxed lightning rod just aimed in there so it's pointed towards the black coal right there in the back. There we go. Now, this is where all of the black coal is going to be using. We are using charcoal for everything else in the town, hence the two charcoal kilns you can see off to the side. And now we're just going to furnish the inside. So this is a proper smithing station. You'd want blasting furnaces and actual working anvils. So, for an anvil, we'll want it right in the middle, I think, right here. And then I'll fill in the window here. So a blasting furnace is where you introduce carbon into the mix to produce high carbon wrought iron. This process, at the moment, would not be producing steel. It would be producing a form of pig iron or high carbon iron, which after being quenched is a little bit better than normal iron. It's more brittle, but also sharper, and a little bit lighter, but negligibly lighter. And for the roof, though these would often just be a flat-roofed structure, I'm going to try and get a stone brick pitch in it as best I can without it looking too weird. There we go. Actually, I think I'll have it face the other direction. Yeah. I'll pull these across. And to the ends as well. There we go. So this is a full, actual smithing blacksmith. There's no casting of iron in this entire area. That does mean we can't do certain things, like sand casting here, but we can do more things like working with the iron that a casting blacksmith can't. Now I'm just going to pull solid stone blocks for this roof area and also some support beams. As I said, you would not want limestone mortar to be the sole thing holding up the entire area in case the heat destabilizes it, because all of this is limestone mortar from the river. And we'd add a few lanterns here. I'm going to adjust the brightness because there was just an update to the world. I'm going to reset the brightness settings, so I'll have to go fix that again. And one over here by the bellows. But yeah, that's a full blacksmith. Let me grab an item frame to do a little bit of set dressing. Now, there's no hammers in Minecraft. No, like, tool-based hammers, at least. And this bone meal here is what we're going to be using as lime or flax, which is ground up seashells in this case, which you use to weld two pieces of iron together while working it and fold over iron. So there's no tools. There's no hammers. So we will be using the mace. This will be a non-combat mace. It will never leave this area. To be like fair. But yeah. There we go. Full blacksmith.